Hey guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another account review. I think we are on a very good account. We're getting a lot of these accounts these days, which seem interesting because I don't think that I'm any better than some of these accounts and they still want to review from me, apparently. I'm assuming that some of these account owners are people that took a break or they bought an account. I don't know which one's more likely. I'm hoping the first one is more likely, but again, I don't judge people buying accounts. I know it goes against Com2Us's policy, which I think is kind of funny because it's your possession. I think you should be able to sell what's yours. Like, what's so bad about selling a decent account? The person who played the account gets to get a certain return, probably a negative return, right? I'm pretty sure. For example, if this account was a bot account, the owner looks like it spent thousands of dollars, and the person who's buying it probably spent maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000, depending on the rune quality. The box wise, the ceiling is not there. You don't know, but from the rune quality really dictates what the ceiling will be. So if the buyer could get it on a discount and they will still enjoy the game, I don't think that's bad at all. Again, this is just personal opinion. It could be different for everybody. If you really think that buying and selling really goes against your philosophy, whatsoever you call it, then it's fine. It's just my opinion where I don't judge these people. But from the account owner, from how I've talked with him, it seems like he was away from the game for a long time. So I'm hoping he's just trying to get back into it, which is relatively easy for people who has been playing. I think we'll see a worse account state if it was bought by somebody who never played the game before. But I mean, why does that even matter? Let's just try and get into this review because this account owner wants to know if he could get back into G1 in RTA. He also wants to get back into the top 10 Siege. Box wise, it looks like it's no issue. I mean, even rune wise, it shouldn't be an issue, assuming that his runes were decent back in the days, which I'm pretty sure it was. Let's check out the record. Yeah, he was in G3 Siege. He was in G3 Arena. He was in G1 Arena. I think for G3 Siege is mostly about following orders. I think best is that you are somebody that does not stick out. You follow what your guild wants to run, how they want to hit certain things. Just be able to build the counters that they have found out, that they have figured out, and always get those 9-1, 10-0s in your battles. And if you do that, you should have no issues getting into a top 10 Siege, to be fair. I rarely have seen accounts having a hard time in G3 Siege if they just get along and they do their attacks well. The people that don't do well are people who, obviously, again, I think the most important thing is getting consistent wins. So if you don't go like 9-1, 10-0s, most of the time, you'll eventually get kicked. Assuming that you're getting that, you will usually have no issue staying in G3 unless you are somebody that's like a needle, you know, constantly looking for trouble in guild chats. I know I've met some of those people in the guild, like during siege battles. They'll just be constantly talking in the siege chat, you know, provoking other guilds, which I was really not happy about. It just causes problems. I know if you're in like the top 4 guild, it rarely happens because you're just that strong to overpower whatever happens in a siege battle, but everybody under that, it is much harder to do so. Some mishap could always happen. Things behind your back can happen and you're just stuck in the middle. If you don't like that kind of atmosphere, I don't advise you going into G3 Siege, to be fair. But I know some people will still have to do it because they want their skins and stuff. There's just people that take it well and there's people that don't. I had a hard time. Anyways, going back to the point, I think this account is decent. We'll look at all the LD5s this account has and maybe even from the regular box see what he's missing. The first thing you want to do is look at swap because he wants to know if his rune quality is there for G1. I'm going to say it is. So let's see if that's true. It's imported. He has 3,000 runes, 700 units. Let's look at 6-star, 12 to 15, 2,800 runes, efficiency 120. I mean, if he has more than I think 20 runes here, then he already has a better account than mine. 3 runes, okay, so not, I mean, it's really hard to say that, you know, just from this, he has a better account. I'm just saying that he has more efficient runes, okay? It doesn't mean it's better, it doesn't mean it's worse, because efficiency really looks at multiple stats. Most people know that certain stats are more important than others, so looks very efficient. Speed 29 and stuff, 27, that's good. Let's look at 110. So you know he had 3 there, so we'll just subtract the 3 here. 120, yeah, that's good. That's very good. Over 100. I'm looking at like 800 to 1,000 maybe here. 700, okay. Let's look at Despair. See how fast the runes are. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fast. 30, 30, 29, 29, 29, 28, ends at 27. This could also be a 29 with a legend. He's looking for those grinds and gems. Awesome. Second page ends at 25. Third page ends at 24, 22. Awesome runes. Swift. Let's see how fast they are. 32, 29, 28, ends at 27. Again, grinds are a little missing. This could be 29 as well. Second page ends at 26. Third page ends at 25. Fourth page ends at 24. 40 runes over 24 speed. 1 quad. Vio. 31, which could be 32 with a legend. 27, 27, ends at 27. A whole lot of 27s, man. Unfortunate here, right? So many that could have been 24s and it could have been 29. And then second page ends at 25. Okay, Violent looks a little weaker compared to his Swift and Despair. Will. 29 ends at 26. Grind issues. Gems look a little low as well. 24. Okay, Will looks a little slow as well compared to his other 2 sets. Or other 3 sets. Intangibles. Who knows? Maybe I was lucky. 27, which could be 28. Okay, not a whole lot of those though. I think I'll farm a little more dragons, maybe even more Will. Definitely work on Illunia for the ancient dungeon and get those ancient Will runes and try to get something fast there. Because it looks like speed-wise and the amount of speed, Will is lacking the most. Because the second page ends at 24, third page ends at 22. Efficiency-wise, how does it look like? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's efficient because it looks like he is farming ancient runes. 117, 117. Yup. Sadly, they're not that fast. Oh, Violent. 124, that's a good one right there. With 27 speed, that's awesome. That's an efficient rune right there. Swift is usually not that efficient, 116 still. Which could be a 28 rune, could be more efficient. Despair, 120. Nice runes, yeah. That's a good rune, 29. Love that rune. It could even be better, 1010. Make it like 120, 124 again. Yeah, you could even check what it can be. So you could make it 3 more here and 3 more here. 3% more in attack and 3% more on HP. So here, if you make it 17, and if you make it 24 here and save it twice, it changes it. 126. If you see that. Yeah, that is a crazy rune. Work on R5. I'm hoping with the update that's going to be coming, R5 gets better, much better than it is right now, making it easier to get the grinds that you want. Maybe even the gems. I actually don't know if gems are changing, but if not, I mean, gems are still relatively easier to get, right? So I'm hoping at least the grinds are much easier to get, you know, getting those legends and start slapping it on these great runes that you have will make your builds look a lot better. Rune-wise, I think you have no problem getting into G1. I think it's more of a gameplay thing then. Again, we'll know because from your box, oof, how many LD5s? Is this all of it? There's 6, there's 4 more, right? That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 LD5s. Is there more? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 dark. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, I saw 16. I'm missing something, but it looks like that is it. But some great LD5s for RTA, right? This is usable. Again, usable. I guess, yeah, usable. I won't say it's not usable. Usable depending on playstyle. Depending on playstyle, this is good too. Fermion is questionable, usable, but I don't see a whole lot of people. Some Japanese players that play really tanky second turn teams use Fermion. So it's just, again, a playstyle thing. Ragdoll, great unit still. For Light, questionable here. I think he has a great kit, but hard to use. Definitely uses in RTA as counters and such. Great unit for RTA. Great unit for RTA. Playstyle thing though. And Nigong is like whatever. Definitely has a counter issues, but not used a whole lot. For Wind, anything missing that's crucial? Okay, no Aya, right? Is Aya here? Yep, no Aya. No Shahat. That's pretty big too. But are they necessary? Definitely not. Everything else looks like you have. For Water, Irene. Irene is a pretty good unit, right? I think a lot of Guardian players use Irene. Zibala, decent unit as well. Manon, I mean, it's not as great in RTA, so I'll actually take that back. Is that it? That's about it. Okay, there's a couple in Water though. Fire. Okay, you have the Megumi. Hartman is pretty fun, but it's definitely a preference. You have Asher, Carnal. Okay. Water one, you're not missing too much. Rakan maybe, but I think for your Nat5 event, oh, did you have the Wind Zenitsu? You do. Okay, perfect. I want the Wind Zenitsu, to be fair. I want the Wind Zenitsu, the Wind Angels. I want the Jurgen. I think that's his name. The Water Gojo. But I would take something from Water, to be fair. Either Zibala. Is this Jurgen? Yeah, it is. So Zibala or maybe Irene. Pretty big for RTA purposes. Yeah. The box, again, should be no issues getting G1. Yeah, I don't know, man. He's not really interested in Arena. He's only really interested in RTA and getting it back into Siege. With his rune quality, again, he should have no issues getting into a G3 Siege. He just has to prove that he could keep a consistent win rate in Siege. So I would try to at least jump to a G2 guild. I mean, you could even get into a low G3 guild with your rune quality, with your box. So maybe go into that. And in there, for a couple weeks, go 9-1, 10-0s. You have to, actually. You must. If you want to prove that once you apply to a top 10 guild, that you are having this type of win rate in G3 Siege. That is the best way to prove that you are capable of playing in G3, high G3 level. And even then, they're going to put you on trial and then they'll use you and see if you're fit for the guild, if you have the rune quality, if you are good with, picking the defenses that you're hitting. Again, just seeing that if you could maintain that win rate. And if you can, good, you're set. You could play. If not, they're gonna kick you. And there's no point of me telling you what defense or whatever like that, or what offense is. If you get into that G3 guild, that guild will tell you, hey, let's build these defenses. You're not gonna be building much usually 4 to 6 at most, and you'll be putting that up. And then obviously the offenses, you'll see what your guildmates are using. The guildmates probably have a list of offenses that they use against certain defenses that are meta right now. You just have to make sure that you can build those and then use those effectively, getting your wins. For RTA, come on, you have the rune. I mean, you have the rune quality to rune all of these. I see you're not using some of these LD5s down here. Chongnam is still great. Water Twin Angels are still great. Yeah, you have some great units down here that you could use. I really have no opinion here. Again, if your box is this big, you could play literally anything. Because, I mean, you have more LD5s than I do. Your box seems like it's more filled up than mine. You should push on playing one playstyle, see how well that works, and if that doesn't work, then start making changes and play different playstyles, because we have 70 days to learn what the meta is, what is strong, what is weak, what you're weak against, what you're good against, and depending on that, it will dictate your win rate and eventually dictate your ending rank. So right now, I really don't have a strong opinion. Anything, just as a critique, is that I would work on violence a little more, because I can't stress this enough. Most playstyles are stacked with units, or at least your box is mostly stacked with units that use violence. So the more you have, the better. You could rune more things. You could rune up more counters. Obviously, if you're playing a certain playstyle, your first 3 picks should have your best rune. Like your best runes, no question, right? But in the end, the other two, the last two, or even maybe sometimes the last 3 picks, counters. The last pick and the last 2 picks are mostly counters in most cases. They should have decent rune quality, and due to the probability of there being so many units on Violent, you need a lot of Violent runes for their builds to be decent. So seeing your swap, it looked like Violent were probably the slowest in most cases. I know even if you don't go like a fast playstyle, in most cases, unless you're going like totally second turn, like what Curry SW does, most people, whether or not they're going first turn or second turn, the Violent builds are around 270s, 260s, slowest, but mostly 270s. So the more that you could build, make those sets, the more you can rune these units up around that speed, at least from my experience, which makes them a lot more usable. That's my opinion. Work on solo R5, you know, with the update or without. I would like you to maximize your efficiency on some of your great units that we've seen, and I think you'll see much better builds, more efficient builds that will bring you more success and eventually get you that G1. But again, I think this is one of those accounts that should have no problem getting G1 in RTA. I think it's more of a gameplay thing. Let's see how many games he played last season. Only 233. Yeah, and even this is very low. I think whatever playstyle he was playing here was not great. Reason why he wasn't that high. He played 70 games here, he played 90 games. Yeah, it looks like the more, if you look at the more recent seasons, the last season that he got his highest rank was 607 games, which is the best. And then after that, he played less and less, and his rank started to get worse. So again, you have to get back into that grind. Same thing with me. Play more. Figure out your playstyle, look at other people's playstyle, look what fits you the best as a person, because although you have the units, maybe you don't like that certain playstyle, so you want to play something else, then you have to quickly readjust and figure what that is so that you could get onto that and start gaining that experience with that playstyle. So figure that out, and the only way you can figure that out is watch other people play and also apply that to your box and try it out and see if it works. That's all of the review, guys. If you guys want a review like this, please join my Patreon. If you guys want account improvements, which I will not probably do on accounts like this, he could do it himself, unless this is somebody that bought the account and he has no clue. I could maybe start him with like some builds, but if he's the original owner, there should be no reason for me to even touch it, because I'm pretty sure the account owner will eventually pick things up. He'll figure out how much his account could accomplish, and he'll eventually figure out what he likes to play. That's all it comes down to. You have to figure out what you like to play, what you have enjoyment with. If you're gonna play a playstyle and lose due to procs and such, and you hate the game, what's the point? At least when you lose due to, you know, something you enjoy. For example, one thing you could say for sure is like cleavers. There are people that just do cleaving throughout the entire season. If they outspeed, they usually win. If they get outsped, they usually lose. But if they get outsped, at least you could be like, okay, that's a rune quality thing. Oh well. So if anything, they don't want to lose to procs, they want to lose to actual rune quality issues, which is getting outsped. That's one example. There are other things as well that you'll figure out, but at least that's a clear example that a lot of people can agree on. That was it, and I hope to see you guys next time.